Plenty of people have beaten Fallout New Vegas with using only one particular weird, niche, I don't know which one it is, bad or impractical weapon. But has anyone beaten Fallout New Vegas with only Fallout New Vegas? Well, I'd like to be the first. So I start my life the same way all women do, in Fallout New Vegas. The mod page states that Fallout New Vegas can be found behind the most famous house in Fallout New Vegas. So naturally I check behind Doc Mitchell's house, and wouldn't you know it, Fallout New Vegas is right there hiding in the tall grass. Wow, that's reflective. I take an evening stroll down to Prim to test out Fallout New Vegas on a few enemies. Believe it or not, it's far from the worst melee weapon I've ever used. Currently, Fallout New Vegas does 18 damage per hit, which is enough to make the escaped convicts quiver in their boots, and then drop dead in their boots. There's also a tiny chance to insta-kill with Wild Wasteland, but that only ended up happening to me like 8 times maybe. I figure since I'm in Prim anyway, I may as well go rescue Beagle. Then I continue along the intended path. Sorta. I stop in Nipton and talk to Volpez for the 2 quests that involves. I've very quickly done Cold Heart and Keep Your Eye on the Prize in the background of pretty much every New Vegas video I've done. It's really good early XP, but I've just never really had a reason to mention it. This time, now this time I have a reason to mention it. When I go to talk to Kilborn about it, I see that he's way off from where he's usually posted, so I go out and follow him while he books it north for some reason. I never found out why, because while I was trying to figure it out, he got one-tapped by a scorpion, and I got the fuck out of there because I didn't want to be next. I continue along the road watching an all-out war from a safe distance, and murdering comm officers Stepanak, because my rancid blood whispered to me and made me do it. Speaking of my rancid blood whispering to me, I stop in Boulder City and I just couldn't help myself. Well, I could've, but I didn't. But Kowalski isn't alone on the highway to hell, because Monroe and the rest of the troopers in Boulder are carpooling there with him. Ranger Station Delta tags along. Okay, let's calm down. My urges are sated for now. So I pick up some work with the Crimson Caravan, such as delivering letters, letting go of unwanted employees, solidifying monopolies, and stealing trade secrets. For no reason whatsoever, I also stop by Vault 22. I phase through a wall to grab the HEPA cartridges, and then phase back out of the wall and leave. Now is about the time to go do some stuff for the boomers. Stuff such as killing a few big ants. Who would have known that Fallout New Vegas is a much more practical weapon for this task than nuclear warheads? I also heal a few ant bites, steal some scrap metal to return, and zone out while a child rants at me. I secure a rebreather from Jack, then set off to Lake Mead to lift the plane out of the scary water. After turning in the quest, I make sure to grab the Brotherhood holotape, and the one from RepCon too. Now, with the rebreather, I have an ulterior motive. I return to Vault 11 for the first time that you know about, and after exterminating some pests, I swim into the flooded section and grab the differential pressure converter. That looks right, but I didn't double check before putting it on the script. Also, I didn't even need the rebreather for this. Now seems like a great time to go to the Fiend's Stronghold in Vault 3 as well. Due to my lack of speech or con initiation, I have to slaughter each and every last one of them. I mean, really, I'd almost feel bad for whoever's gonna have to clean this up, but it's not gonna be me, so I don't really give a fuck. At the end of my slaughter, once Motor Runner's engine hits the ground, I grab the reverse pulse cleaner from his locker. Now I go into the strip, because why do things in an order that makes any sense? I talk to Mr. House for the sole purpose of telling him to go fuck himself and that I will be dead and gone before I work for him. Speaking of gone but not dead, I confront Benny at the strip. In the spirit of doing things differently, I go to the presidential like he asks, ambush the ambushers, and let him leave for the fort. Instead of chasing him down right away, I go murder Oris, and let the king know about it. I also check up on alleged NCR activity in Freeside. The NCR is handing out free food to their citizens who need it, providing basic human necessities free of cost. Disgusting. What's next? Affordable healthcare? not executing human beings in the street. You fucking hippies. You make me sick. Speaking of the NCR, I get distracted by Reyes at Forlorn Hope. How'd I end up all the way over there? Well, I got distracted. For some reason, Reyes thinks that the ranger stations are being targeted by someone, that they might not be secure. I don't know. I think she's a crazy weirdo for even suggesting such a thing. I talked to Hanlon about her concerns, but all he does is put a 45-70 sized hole through his head, so that's not much help. Instead, I do what I do best. I give up. More specifically, I give up in the direction of Hidden Valley, where I talk to the Brotherhood. If you're a regular here, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you might be expecting something particular to happen. Well, you're expecting wrong. Did you really think I'd collect all the Brotherhood holotapes in the parts to repair the events if I was just gonna blow them all up? Well, it was a fake out, because I do. No, I'm just kidding. It was a double fake out, bitch! I killed Dobson and give McNamara his 3 missing patrol tapes, then his 3 scout reports, then his 3 miscellaneous items. Well, 8 miscellaneous, whatever. Moving on, I wipe out the entirety of Camp Forlorn Hope. My rancid blood made me do it, and Dead Sea asked very nicely and I wouldn't want to disappoint him. I had hoped that for my valiant efforts, Papa Khan would name me his successor, but he doesn't. Maybe I just fundamentally misunderstand that game mechanic because I've only ever actually done it once. For his crime of not doing what I wanted, Papa Khan dies of natural causes after I bash him over the head with Fallout New Vegas. The sins of the few are the sins of the many, or however that saying goes, so the rest of the Khans die shortly after. Regis also survives, which will be important later. Connecting a loose thread from earlier, I go recruit Cass at the Mojave Outpost. Unusual, I know. Normally I don't use companions in these runs, but trust me, it'll make sense. I scope out her 3 destroyed caravans, buy Usanagi's 3 implants, and learn that the Crimson Caravan and Van Graffs have been destroying caravans as a false flag. Fill in this line with your own joke about conspiracy theories and false flag ops. Speaking of conspiracies, I end the caravan conspiracy by murdering both caravan families. And I make Cass kick rocks. A detour to the strip causes me to give in to my urges and wipe out the entirety of the White Glove Society, and Chauncey, and Heck, and a few people I just didn't like. Since I'm in the area, I figure I'll tinily go talk to Clocker. What? I let him know that the boomers will help us, and that Pacer mysteriously died in a New Vegas to the head incident a while back. Speaking of New Vegas, I take mine over to the fort, where I'm about as uninterested in what Caesar has to say as possible. Still, I agree to blow up House's bunker for him. Either House has a USB in his USB port, or he's shocked to see me in the bunker, given that I didn't talk to him after letting Benny leave. I tell him that I'm going to blow up the bunker like Caesar said, and I even blow up one of the generators. But then I plug in the chip to the override slot anyway, just to keep everyone involved in this story on their toes. Pause. I don't want to think about House or Caesar's toes. To keep them on the edge of their thrones and or cryostasis chambers. Caesar grants me the favor of deciding what to do with Benny. At first, I suggest crucifixion, then just executing him. Benny doesn't like either option, and instead he stands up, unbinds his hands, and runs after me with his fists up. I lead him around, but the door between the parts of the camp makes him go non-hostile. Then he just walks back to the tent, sits down, and reties his own hands. I don't know. I figure I'll just let the Legion deal with him after that, so I fix their howitzer and report to Moore. Apparently the Great Khans didn't get the memo when I wiped them out the first time. So, back to it then. Moore then sends me to the strip to foil the Omerta's terrorist plot. While there, I conduct a terror plot of my own by stabbing House in the front. After entering the antechamber, though, I'm shocked when the NCR radio operator follows me inside for the sole purpose of handing me an emergency radio. Now that is a delivery service that you can count on. Since he's here anyway, I ask him if he wants to see something cool. Then I blow Mr. House up with the power of my mind. Now, back to the Omertas, the Q receptionist tells me to seek out Cachino. So I do. Then I steal his journal from his pockets and take it to Big Sal. Big Sal and his nerd kill Cachino and promote me to his position. Part of that position requires me to collect some chlorine from Michael, and weapon parts from some unnamed fiends that were standing a little too close to them. I hand these off to the Omertas, who thank me for my service. Speaking of Omertas, I save Martina Grosbeck from a few in Vault 21. Then I return to the fort, where like the NCR operator earlier, a powder ganger shows up to tell me that we're friends. We're not, and frankly I don't know what gave him that idea. I let Volpez know that I saved Martina, then head to McCarran to help Curtis bomb the monorail. In order to do it, I frame Davey by planting some bomb-making supplies in his locker, then killing him and dressing up as him to fool everybody into thinking it was him who planted it. Because obviously, Davey also wore a Pip-Boy and had beautiful red hair. And wouldn't you know it, Davey also killed the Colonel on his way out of McCarran, and a bunch of other soldiers that weren't paying attention. I report back to Colonel Moore that the Omerta situation has been dealt with. Then she sends me to wipe out the Brotherhood. But since I've already helped them out with their rules of 3, I talk McNamara into allying with the NCR. Moore kinda goes ballistic, but I talk her into it. So then she tasks me with protecting the NCR president at his upcoming speech. But before that, I interrupt this video to bring you a special message from me. Hi, I'm Parable. Did you know that it's illegal to say, "I want to kill the president of the new California Republic"? It's illegal. It's a federal offense. It's one of the only sentences that you're not allowed to say. Now, it was okay for me to say it right then because I'm just telling you that it's illegal to say, "I want to kill the president of the new California Republic." I'm not actually saying it, I'm just letting you know that it's illegal to say that. It's kind of like a public service. I'm letting you know so that you don't accidentally go out there and say something like that. But what's interesting is that it's very illegal to say, "I really, really think that someone out there should kill the president of the new California Republic." That's illegal. Extremely illegal. Very, very illegal. But not illegal to say with an anti-aircraft gun. Because that's its own sentence. It's an incomplete sentence, but it may have nothing to do with the sentence before that. So that's perfectly fine. Perfectly legal. I also found out that it's incredibly illegal, extremely illegal, to go on YouTube and say something like, "The best way to kill Aaron Kimball would be to run at him with a copy of Fallout New Vegas 2010 for the PlayStation 3 because this squad of veteran rangers wouldn't expect you to beat him and sequentially them to death with a video game case, much less the case of a video game that they are in." Insanely illegal. Ridiculously, recklessly, insanely illegal. Yet, even more illegal to show an illustrated diagram. Insanely illegal, ridiculously, horribly felonious, because they will come to your house in the middle of the night and they will lock you up. Extremely against the law. One thing that is technically legal to say is, we have a group that meets Fridays under the Nipton Bridge and the password is Sic Semper Tyrannis. With every bridge I've ever built burned, I go talk to Yes Man in the Tops. I let him know that I've sorted out all the minor factions, pissed off all the major factions, and want to become the only faction fighting for Vegas. He takes over the Lucky 38, then I head out to El Dorado, I said it right this time, to plug in the override chip. Legion assassins ambush me before I arrive, followed by the NCR troopers stationed there, attempting to hold the line. But the only line they're in now is the line to Karen's Ferry, and I expect they're gonna be there for a while. I return to Yes Man after one last supply run, and now we storm the dam. I get gunned down immediately by the Rangers, so on my next attempt I simply hang back and let the Legion and NCR soften each other up. When one Ranger remains, I run up behind him and finish the job. The rest of the NCR and Legion are pushovers. I don't know why the first few Rangers were the only effective fighters they had. My final supply run earlier allows me to be fairly confident that I won't run out of stims before reaching the Legate, so I just go ballistic, beating everyone I see to death. By the time I was done with the dam, you could walk the whole stretch of it without touching concrete. Speaking of the end, something unusual occurred. The gate to the Legate's camp was gone. I suppose it got up and it danced away because I don't see it anywhere. I assume it's part of the open tents mod because the second gate works fine, but still, it's odd to see. Before confronting the Legate, I wipe out his army in the camp. Upon confronting him, he flings me off the cliff and down into his pack of wildebeests. I hold my ground for a while in the sense that I kill nobody and accomplish nothing. I go through 40 stim packs while they all swarm me and stunlock me, but before anyone can deliver the killing blow, I quick load. And then, once again, I do exactly what I do best. I give up. I talk to Leggett down with barter, not speech, and watch him flee with his tail between his legs. Oliver is another story. I wasn't leaving without taking that man's hat as a trophy. Then I just talk to Yes Man, leave the dam, and beat Fallout New Vegas with Fallout New Vegas. Alright, I'm gonna go make some veggie wraps.